Let me say it again, louder, for the people in the back who are refreshing their analytics at 2 a.m. wondering why they're not growing fast enough. You don't need 100K followers. I know that sounds wrong. I know everything you've ever read, watched, or heard about building a brand online has told you the opposite. Get to 10K. Get to 50K. Hit 100K and then the doors open. The brand deals flood in. The algorithm starts working for you instead of against you. That's the story, right? That's the playbook everyone's been sold. Except nobody told you the playbook was written by people who had something to sell you. Think about it for a second. Who benefits most from you believing that follower count is the only metric that matters? The platforms do. Because when you're obsessed with growing your following, you post more, engage more, stay on the app longer, and keep feeding the machine. The platforms built an entire psychological framework around vanity metrics, likes, followers, views, because when you're chasing those numbers, you're not building something real, you're building something for them. And here's where it gets brutal. The average creator with 100K followers makes less money than you think. Studies on influencer economics are all over the map, but when you strip away the outliers, the mega channels pulling in millions, the median creator at 100K followers is making somewhere between $500 and $2,000 a month from their platform directly. Some of them are making nothing. Some of them spent 3 to 5 years grinding to get there, and they're pulling in less per hour than someone working at a coffee shop. That's not shade, that's math. Meanwhile, there are people with 2,000 followers clearing $10,000 a month. Real number. Not a fantasy, because they figured out something the follower count obsessed creator community doesn't want to talk about. It was never about the number. It was always about the right people. I want to tell you about a concept that sounds so simple it almost feels insulting, but it's the thing that separates creators who build real businesses from creators who build impressive-looking accounts that never quite convert. It's called the 1,000 True Fans Theory, and it was first written about by Wired co-founder Kevin Kelly back in 2008. The premise is this: if you can get 1,000 people who genuinely love what you do, not casual followers, not people who double-tapped once and forgot about you, but real fans who will buy whatever you release, support whatever you create, and tell everyone they know about you, you can make a living. A real living. Do the math. 1,000 people spending $100 a year on your work. That's $100,000. And $100 a year is nothing. That's one course, one coaching call, one piece of merchandise they actually wanted. It's not even a stretch. It's the natural behavior of someone who genuinely cares about what you're building. 1,000 people, not 100,000, not a million. 1,000. Now ask yourself honestly, how many of your followers are actually true fans? How many of them would open an email from you right now? How many of them would buy the thing you made if you dropped it tomorrow? If that number feels small, or if the answer is genuinely, I have no idea, then here's the hard truth. Your follower count has been lying to you about your actual influence. You've been optimizing for the wrong number. Let's talk about what actually drives money and impact, because this is where people's brains start to break a little bit. Engagement rate, not followers. Engagement rate. A creator with 5,000 followers and a 15% engagement rate is more valuable to a brand than a creator with 500,000 followers and a 0.3% engagement rate. That's not opinion. That's how smart brands have been calculating influencer ROI for years now. The big companies figured this out. The mid-sized companies are figuring it out. The only people still confused about it are the creators themselves, because they're still comparing follower counts like that's the scoreboard. The scoreboard changed. Nobody sent out a memo. When someone with 4,000 followers recommends a product, their audience listens. They know this person. They trust this person. They've been watching their content long enough to feel like they have a real relationship with them. That recommendation converts. When someone with 400,000 followers posts a sponsored product between two unrelated videos to an audience that's mostly there for the algorithm and barely knows the creator's name, that recommendation disappears into the noise. Nano-influencers, creators with 1,000 to 10,000 followers, consistently outperform mega-influencers on conversion rates. Some studies put the gap at 7x to 10x higher conversion, 7 to 10 times. and they charge a fraction of the price. If you're sitting at 3,000 followers wondering when it's finally going to feel worth it, I need you to understand that you are already valuable. Right now. Today. The problem isn't your following, it's that you've been told to wait until you reach some arbitrary number before you start acting like the thing you're building is real. Stop waiting. Here's something that happened to a friend of mine. I'll keep it vague because she'd probably kill me for sharing it, but she had a fitness account, had it for about 2 years. Decent content, consistent posting. She was sitting around 6,000 followers and feeling completely stuck. She'd been stuck in that range for months. The growth had flatlined, the algorithm felt like it was ignoring her, and she was genuinely starting to question whether any of it was worth it. Then she did something on a whim. She opened up a simple coaching program, 12 spots, $300 a month. She sent one email to her list, which, by the way, was only about 400 people at that point, and she talked about it on her stories for 3 days. She filled all 12 spots in a week. That's $3,600 a month recurring, from 400 email subscribers and 6,000 followers. Not life-changing money, but real money. Meaningful money. Enough to actually invest back into the thing she was building. And the clients who signed up, they were incredible. They were committed. They got results. They talked about her program to their friends. 3 of her next clients came from word of mouth from those original 12 people. She never went viral. She never cracked 10K followers. She built something real with the audience she already had, and she never looked back. That's the play nobody's talking about. Those 3 paths, micro offers, email lists, communities, work at 2,000 followers. They work at 500 followers. They've worked for people with audiences even smaller than that. What they require isn't reach. They require trust. And trust is built through consistency, specificity, and actually giving a damn about the people who show up for you. Let me push back on something you might be thinking right now, because I know the objection is forming. But if I could just get to 100K, everything would be easier. Would it though? Think about what it actually takes to grow to 100K followers on any platform right now. It takes posting multiple times a week, consistently, for likely 2 or 3 years minimum. It takes keeping up with algorithm changes that happen constantly and often feel random. It takes producing content that is broadly appealing enough to attract new people while also being specific enough to retain the people who already follow you. It takes watching your engagement potentially decrease as your following grows because larger audiences are inherently less cohesive. It takes managing the psychological weight of comparing your numbers to other creators, the slow growth weeks, the videos that flop, the content that takes hours to make and gets 300 views. And at the end of all that, if you haven't built the systems underneath, the email list, the offers, the community, you reach 100K and realize that the finish line you were sprinting toward was just a billboard. There's nothing on the other side of it that you couldn't have had at 5,000 if you'd been building the right things all along. This isn't me telling you not to grow your audience. Growing is good. More reach is good. I'm telling you not to put your life on hold, not to delay building your business, not to wait until you hit some number before you start treating this seriously. Because the skills you're developing at 2,000 followers, understanding your audience, crafting offers, building trust, learning how to communicate, those are the exact same skills that make you successful at 200,000. If you're not building them now, a bigger audience isn't going to save you. The creator who hits 100K with strong systems underneath will absolutely thrive. The creator who hits 100K having never built anything real will find that 100K followers and no offer architecture is just 100K people you have to keep entertaining forever with nothing to show for it. There's also a cultural thing happening right now that I think is worth naming directly. We have collectively decided, as an internet culture, that credibility is proportional to following. That someone with 500K followers must know more than someone with 5,000. That the bigger the platform, the more valid the advice. And that belief is doing serious damage to a lot of smart, capable people who are building real things in relative obscurity while assuming they don't have permission to be taken seriously yet. Some of the best advice I've ever gotten came from people with tiny platforms. Some of the worst, most generic, most clearly optimized for virality rather than truth content I've ever consumed came from people with millions of followers. The correlation is genuinely weak. Following count is a measure of reach, not expertise. It's a measure of how many people found you, not of how much you actually know. And yet we keep deferring to it. We keep looking at someone's subscriber count before deciding whether to take their advice. We keep downplaying our own knowledge and expertise because we don't have the follower count to justify it. We're all out here waiting for external validation from an algorithm to permit us to believe in what we know. That's not a platform problem. That's a mindset problem. And it's one worth confronting directly. You know things that other people need. You have a perspective that other people haven't heard. You have a skill set that has real value in the market. None of that becomes more true at 100K followers than it is right now. The only thing that changes at 100K is how many people you can reach, not the validity of what you're saying. Start acting like what you know is valuable now. Because it is. Let me give you something concrete before we wrap, because I know how it feels to read something like this and think, okay, great, but what do I actually do tomorrow morning? Step 1. Stop checking your follower count for the next 30 days. I'm serious. If you have to, remove it from your home screen. Take it off your mental dashboard. It's not the metric that matters for the next 30 days. Step 2. Write down exactly who your ideal audience member is. Not a demographic, a person. What do they struggle with? What do they want? What do they want? What do they want? What are they searching for at midnight when they can't sleep? What would genuinely make their life better? Get specific. The more specific you are, the more your content will resonate with the right people. Step 3. Create one thing this week that solves a real problem for that person. A post, a video, a thread, a guide, something that gives real value and doesn't ask for anything in return. No call to action, no pitch. Just pure value. See who responds. See who reaches out. Those people are your true fans. Step 4. Build your email list. Today, right now if you can. Set up a simple sign-up form, create a lead magnet your ideal audience actually wants, and direct people there from every piece of content you make. Even if you get 10 email subscribers this month, that's 10 people you have a direct line to. That's 10 people who raised their hand and said, yes, I want more of what you're making. Step 5. Design one offer. 1. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to solve a specific problem for a specific person. Give it a clear name, a clear outcome, and a clear price. Then put it somewhere people can find it. That's it. Those 5 steps. You can do all of them with the audience you have right now. You don't need to wait. You don't need to grow first. You need to start treating your business like a business and your audience like the real, valuable community they already are. The goal was never 100K followers. The goal was freedom. The goal was building something that lasts. The goal was doing work that matters to people and getting paid fairly for it. The goal was waking up in the morning and doing the thing you actually want to do. None of that requires 100K followers. None of it ever did. What it requires is the willingness to stop playing the vanity metric game and start playing the real game. The one where you build trust, create value, make real offers to real people, and compound that over time until what you're building is undeniably real. The next 6 months will pass whether you take action or not. The question is whether you spend them chasing a follower count that was never going to save you, or whether you spend them building something that actually could. You already have enough people watching. Start giving them a reason to stay. Start giving them something to buy. Start treating what you're building like it matters, because it does. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the number. Stop waiting. You don't need 100K followers. You need to start.